Hello children, your Arun sir going to teach digestive system in biology. In the previous video we have discussed about the teeth in detail. Now I have told that the process of digestion takes place in the alimentary canal. An alimentary canal is a long 9-meter long tube in which the process of digestion takes place. And we have discussed that the opening, one part of the alimentary canal is the mouth and other part is the anus. And mouth we have discussed in detail. Now certain things we have to discuss. I have also told that digestive system consists of alimentary canal and the associated glands. Certain associated glands we have to discuss, and one is salivary gland. There are 3 pairs of salivary gland in our mouth, means total 6 salivary glands are there, and they are the salivary gland, and there are 3 pairs of salivary gland. 3 pairs means total 6. 3 pairs of salivary gland are there. Number 1 is parotid gland. Parotid gland. Second is submandibular gland. Submandibular gland. And third is sublingual gland. Sublingual. So 3 salivary glands, 3 pairs of salivary glands are there in our mouth: parotid gland, submandibular gland and sublingual gland. And dear children, if you are studying biology, their location of the organ are very important. So first let us discuss about the location of parotid gland. Function, they have got the common function. The function is same. The function is to release saliva, the water inside our mouth. So parotid gland in front and beneath each ear. Location is in front and beneath each ear, means one pair this side, one pair, parotid gland this side and one parotid gland this side, front and beneath each ear. So it was about the location of parotid gland. Same. Second, submandibular gland. Naturally they are located in our mouth, and submandibular gland close to the inner side of the lower jaw. This is our lower jaw, and close to each side of the lower jaw, this side and this side, near to the lower jaw, this submandibular gland is located. And sublingual, lingual means words, bhasa, lingual. Naturally it is below the tongue. Tongue helps in speaking, and just below the tongue is the sublingual gland. So these are the salivary gland, and they release saliva inside our mouth. So water is present inside the mouth. 24 hours they release saliva, but during chewing or eating the amount of saliva increases. Or thinking of tasty food, smelling of tasty food, water comes in our mouth. And the girls thinking of tamarind, इमली देखकर मुंह में पानी आ जाता है. That water which comes in our mouth, actually that is the saliva, and saliva helps in digestion. They are released by the salivary gland, and we have got 3 pairs of salivary gland. It contain maximum amount of saliva contain water, and pH is 6.8, and we are knowing that if pH is 6.8, it means it is slightly acidic. 6.8 means it is slightly acidic, and it contains one enzyme. The name of that enzyme is salivary amylase. Saliva contain a enzyme, and the name of that enzyme is salivary amylase, or that is called as ptyalin. Note the spelling of ptyalin. Ptyalin. The name of that enzyme is ptyalin or salivary amylase. Now, what are the function of saliva? Naturally, it waters the mouth, helps to swallow the food, moistens, lubricates the mouth, lubricates food, act as a solvent. Certain substance, certain food items, they dissolve in this solvent like sugar, salt, and give taste. And after chewing the food particle become spherical in shape, they stick together, and while we swallow, that ball goes inside. That ball of food particle after chewing becomes spherical, that is called as bolus. And it is easy to swallow the bolus. And one more thing, I have told that saliva contains salivary amylase or ptyalin. And dear children, the process of digestion starts in our mouth, and salivary amylase breaks starch into maltose, a type of sugar. Means salivary amylase helps to digest starch and convert into maltose, a type of sugar. So simply rice, boiled rice, or a piece of bread, you will chew for some time, it will taste sweet. Now think of, give reason question may be asked that after chewing a piece of bread for some time, it tastes sweet due to presence of salivary amylase in our saliva, which converts the starch present in that food item into a maltose, a type of sugar. This was one of the function. Now it cleans the mouth. Saliva cleans the mouth, destroyed the germs, and when it is laced, gives us sensation of thirst. प्यास लगता है, gives us sensation of thirst, so that we can drink water. So it was about the saliva and the salivary gland. Now, how we swallow the food? Tongue helps in swallowing. Tongue manipulates the food, helps to make bolus, and pushes the food inside. And larynx is there. Larynx means voice box, and one epiglottis or guard is there. While we swallow the food, during swallowing, two pipes are there. One is the food pipe and other is the wind pipe. Suppose this is, and common opening it has got. Opening is common. And during swallowing, as our larynx is lifted, the voice box is lifted, one guard is there, one flap is there which covers the food pipe. And while food pipe is covered, that cover, that is epiglottis. Very important location and function of epiglottis. Close to the opening, and it is a cover. While swallowing the food, it covers the windpipe, So what happened? The food goes to the food pipe, means esophagus. Dear children, you must have failed. Sometime during swallowing, by mistake also, if the food particle enters the windpipe or trachea, coughing is there, sneezing is there, and due to coughing, that food particle is thrown out. And while swallowing, the food never goes to the windpipe due to presence of epiglottis, which covers the windpipe during swallowing. Now, if we will swallow the food will go to the esophagus or the food pipe. And how from the food pipe this goes inside? By a movement, and that movement is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Peristalsis or peristaltic movement means wave of constriction, wave is generated. Suppose this is our food pipe, and as we will swallow the food, wave will generate, and due to that wave means constriction, rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the esophagus. As a result, the food goes to the stomach. So that movement in the esophagus, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation movement of the muscles of the esophagus is called as peristalsis. And dear children, throughout the gut, in our alimentary canal, this peristalsis movement takes place. So it was about the esophagus and the peristalsis. And keep in mind, the digestion starts in our mouth, but no digestion takes place in esophagus. Esophagus is a simply pipe, a tube which connects mouth to the stomach. So the food is sent to the stomach. Now, very interesting to know about the stomach. J-shaped muscular body. J-shaped muscular body, and this is the stomach. J-shaped muscular body. If he will eat more, it will expand. If he will not eat, it will contract. So it is a J-shaped muscular body, elastic body, and in adult it can hold 2 to 3 liters of food at a time. 2 to 3 liters of food, because there the food is in the liquid form. It can hold 2 to 3 liters of food at a time. Now, its walls are highly elastic, muscular, helps to churn the food and mixes with the gastric juice. Now, the function of stomach to release gastric juice and mixes with the food. Now, what is gastric juice? The walls of the stomach, these walls contain gastric glands. These are the gastric glands. And gastric glands, they release gastric juice. And gastric juice contains 3 things. The function of the gastric gland is to release gastric juice. And gastric juice contains HCl, hydrochloric acid, mucus, and third one is the pepsin, a type of enzyme. Now, dear children, try to understand this gastric gland, which is present in the inner lining of the stomach, releases gastric juice, and gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid, mucus, and pepsin. Dear children, hydrochloric acid is formed in our stomach. It helps in digestion of the food. It helps to act pepsin on the protein. Without this HCl, protein will not be digested. Now, why our stomach do not burn by the HCl? Mucus protects us, protects our stomach, the wall of the stomach, from burning by the HCl. If you are continuously eating more food, overloaded, your stomach will become overloaded. More amount of hydrochloric acid will be released by the gastric juice, this gastric gland, and what will happen? You will say that I am suffering from acidity, khatta dakar. In that case, you are advised to take ENO or sodium bicarbonate, meetha soda, and that will neutralize the acid. Due to that only acidity is formed, and if continuous acidity is there, this acidity is continuing for a long period, a type of disease known as peptic ulcer, ulcer ghav, wound. Peptic ulcer will take place. Peptic ulcer means due to this hydrochloric acid, this mucus will not protect the wall of the stomach from burning, and the wall of the stomach will burn and a wound will develop, and that is called as peptic ulcer. So, continuous acidity is not good for health. It may lead to peptic ulcer. So, dear children, we have understood about HCl, mucus, and third part, the gastric juice contain pepsin. Actually, pepsin is active form. In the beginning, it remain as pepsinogen, pepsinogen, and pepsinogen is inactive form. It is in inactive form, and in the presence of hydrochloric acid, it become pepsin. Pepsinogen is converted to pepsin, and pepsin helps in digestion of protein. Protein is digested, broken to peptides. Once more, try to understand. This HCl helps in digestion, kills the germ which enter with the food particle, and convert pepsinogen into pepsin, and pepsin helps to break protein into peptides. And in babies, prorenin is present, and prorenin, that is convert into renin, prorenin in babies, newly born babies. Prorenin in the presence of hydrochloric acid is converted into renin, and renin, what happens? Milk protein or casein, milk protein is there, that is called casein. This renin is renin converts milk protein into para-casein. Haven't you seen babies vomiting curd? The curd, that is the para-casein, a insoluble peptide. So it was about the stomach. Now, in our stomach, the food remains for 3 hours, and it attains a pulp-like form. Pulp, mango pulp you must have eaten. So in our stomach, the food remains for about 3 hours, and it is churned, mixed with the gastric juices, and turns into pulp-like form. And that pulp-like form after 3 hours in the stomach is called as chyme. See what is that is called as chyme, Chyme. After 3 hours, the food in the stomach is, by mixing this gastric juice, becomes chyme, pulp-like form, and that is called as chyme. Now, dear children, that shine is moved to the small intestine. So, dear children, what we have studied today, we have discussed salivary gland. In salivary gland, three pairs of salivary gland we discussed, that is parotid, submandibular and sublingual, their location and function. We have discussed in detail about the saliva, the function of the saliva. Give reason question: after chewing a piece of bread it tastes sweet. We discussed about the peristalsis. We discussed about the esophagus. We discussed about the stomach and gastric juice. One thing is left in the stomach, that opening sphincter muscle. See here, this is the stomach, and this esophagus opens into a stomach. Here also it goes to a small intestine. Here one circular muscle is there, and circular muscle opening of the stomach into the intestine, that circular muscle and here one circular muscle is there. It controls the passage of food from stomach to from esophagus to the stomach, and does not allow backflow of food. But sometimes due to overloading, there is backflow of food, and that is called as vomiting. Backflow of food, that is called as vomiting. So here we will discuss two type of muscle. One is opening of the stomach into the intestine is called as pylorus. Here it is pylorus. And this is cardiac muscle or cardiac sphincter. Cardiac sphincter. Sphincter means circular muscle. So try to understand, the opening of a stomach into the intestine is called as pylorus. It has a ring muscle sphincter to keep the opening closed like a valve to prevent food passing from stomach until it is thoroughly churned. And a similar sphincter termed cardiac sphincter is present at the front end of the stomach, prevent backflow of, and this is the cardiac sphincter. Cardiac sphincter. Sphincter means circular muscle which act as a valve. So dear children, two things are very, very important. Their location, very, very important. This esophagus opens into stomach, and here cardiac sphincter is present, and this stomach opens into a small intestine, and here one sphincter, that is the pylorus sphincter is there. So dear children, we have understood about this today up to this much. In the next video, we will discuss about the small intestine, large intestine and other associated glands. Thank you very much.